Our first guest is a former U.S. Championships finalist in the steeplechase and current active runner in the Portland area. He's the founder of Miles and Threads and helped bring the famous Take the Bridge event to Portland this last week. Please welcome to the stage, Derek Scott. All right. Go ahead and sit down. Tasty beverage there.
Yeah, set up here.
Careful, that thing is hot. Oh, all right, I got this. Oh, we're back.
Well, I guess I should say shout out to Muskegon. I grew up just north of it in Mr. B's Pancake House, so I'm in line with you.
Have you ever been to Mr. B's?
No, but I want to. I'm craving it now.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, 2020, we'll all go.
Let's do it.
All right. Oh, I think I need to hit this again. There we go. All right. So how are you?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's great to have you. So the Take the Bridge, like this is it started on the East Coast. Am I correct?
Yeah, in New York City.
Cool. Mm-hmm. How did this thing start up?
So Take the Bridge is an event concept. Yeah, started in New York City. These guys race kind of point to point over these long New York City bridges. Mm-hmm. Very unsanctioned style racing, small fields. They don't shut down any streets. They advertise kind of really through word of mouth. And I had been living in New York for a little bit and visit quite often and connected with these guys and really wanted to bring it to Portland and kind of bring that that style of running, that style of racing here to Portland and offer it up. So Tuesday night we did it.
Oh, we've got a lot of bridges here.
We got a couple bridges. We did the Tillicum, we did the Hawthorne, and did a couple laps. Yeah.
So this whole thing started just from groups of people coming together, kind of impromptu, like, hey, we're going to go out for a run, and then word just spreads through social media, that kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, Darcy Budworth owns the event company in New York City.
Okay.
We connected here in Portland. I do a race called Race the Train. So we actually meet at the east side of the Tillicum Bridge, and we see if we can race the streetcar to the other side, and then we jump back in and usually end up at a bar. We keep running.
Uh-huh.
So I took her on that run, and just conversation kept going. We said, hey, we should collaborate. We should bring this to Portland, and we should combine the two events and see what happens. So we did it, and really the whole idea is like to offer something new to Portland, bring a lot of the running crews, kind of that culture together, and just kind of like rip it, have a good time, have an after party, and a little bit more of like a social style event. But we did offer prize money to the winners, and all the entry fees went back into the race, so it all went back to the runners.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so this happened last Tuesday. I came out and watched it, and it was a pretty cool event, something that I've never seen before. I like the idea of you've got these checkpoints out there, but you can kind of just choose your own route type of thing. Yeah,
that's one unique thing is you can choose whatever route you want. So, it's a circle. It's not, there's not a lot of routes to choose, but you could cut the grass over the Hawthorne Bridge. You could, make your own way. So there's no mapped route. Like you make your way, and whatever route you pick, go for it. It's on you.
That's wild. Like coming from a background of track and that kind of racing and formal track where everything is just so measured out and specific. It seems like there's kind of a clash of cultures right now, and there's in track overall, I guess. It's like you've got your people in the heritage camp who are very traditional, and then you've got your newcomers who are like, let's get out there and do something.
Yeah.
So how do you see this event sitting there? And
I think there's a cool shift. There's a new culture, maybe not new, but like there's a culture growing in running that like I came from a very structured professional background where you train with a group, you go for a race, and then you kind of like disappear for a while. But there's a scene like on the East Coast, especially in New York, that I think is growing with like a run crew culture, and I think that's growing here in Portland definitely with like Jacuzzi Boys and Bowerman Club and Run Trill, and there's like some amazing clubs starting, and it's a little bit more social, and it's a little bit more like underground, a little bit more unsanctioned, and I think that culture is growing, and it's a cool scene. It's cool to see something new come to Portland.
That's exciting. Makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up a little bit. Yeah, breaking the rules. I feel like I should have
seen you out there racing, man.
I know. I was eating like shawarma or something.
Yeah, I saw you. You had a little something on your cheek. You know?
Yeah, but I was there for the party.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I'm always there for that.
There you go.
Yeah, but So this idea of bringing heritage and traditional running aligned with the newer culture and more of the avant-garde, I guess, you've kind of made that your thing too in a new clothing company too. And I've looked in a little bit on that, but Miles and Threads, yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Miles and Threads, I call it a culture brand. It kind of exists in like a few different mediums, right? So it is apparel, it is kind of streetwear. The whole idea was like to kind of create apparel that you would wear just casually. It's things that I wanted to wear, but it exists in a medium of like events and images and video and just kind of this culture scene. So it's really just like a playground more than a brand or more than anything else, just to like have running exist in a certain way. The inspiration kind of comes from like vintage track and field culture. It comes from like street style racing. It's essentially like a garage business. So it's like punk rock and hip hop meets like vintage track and field and just like good vibes and having fun with it. So that's the idea behind it. It really just exists on Instagram, a little bit online. And if we release apparel, it's only like limited collections. So I think it's cool to have only 10 shirts of one style exist and then it's gone. So it's not like mass production, and that's kind of like the ethos of the brand.
So there's only 10 people out there wearing that shirt then. And
yeah, I mean if I need people to buy it, that's the thing. But
yeah, it's a hot commodity then. That's awesome.
I brought you a beanie, but I didn't know Andrew was here too, so I thought like you'd have to like arm wrestle or something over it. So it's on.
We can do that. Yeah. We'll just add it to our nightly arm wrestling competition.
Yeah. I know you had one earlier, but double back.
We didn't have anything to put on the line this time, so it's a good thing you brought that.
And I know I'm in here as the lesser Derek of the show, so we got more accomplished Chris Derek.
It's not true.
So we might arm wrestle as well. So that might be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you use Derek as a first name.
Yeah.
He's got enough first names.
That's true.
He's got Chris as well. But Miles and Threads, I love that you're using that as kind of a petri dish to branch out and to introduce more people into the running culture. And I like that you use the word culture too, because growing up, you're like, there's not a whole lot of cool things to wear for runners, and there isn't like we want something that expresses the soul of the sport and stuff, but it's nice to see that it's coming from somebody who really understands the history and the heritage of the sport too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Well, where's the beanie?
The beanie? It's right over here.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Andrew at?
Oh, right on. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's see if we can fit the hair under here. Sit down so I can get in the camera lens here. It doesn't like to be tamed. Oh, yeah, there we go. How's that? Oh, God. I'm turning purple, man. Oh, man. I'll come for that later. All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Right on.